sure you guys must think I'm crazy. How you doing, guys? I hope everyone is good. Had a really amazing week. Maybe I need to start doing prediction results and even breakdowns for boxing. Because damn, I did really well, man. Incredibly so. When I started doing boxing predictions, I was like, okay, maybe this is a fluke, and then I kept on being accurate. Um, in actual fact, I think ever since I started doing boxing predictions, I think I've only ever gotten pick wrong per card. MMA is a little bit harder to predict, um, but I love the challenge. I did really well this week. I got 10 correct, and I think I got only two wrong, which is incredibly awesome. I've been getting so many messages from people. Um, someone put someone put a bra on to Sean the Snaker show. YouTube is gonna ban you again. Like you need to get a hold of yourself. The things you say, dude. Anyway, I've been doing really well in boxing, so maybe I might start doing its own separate stream. Um, yeah, this week was really good for me. I got six correct, one wrong, and one draw in boxing. In MMA, I got 10 correct and only two wrong. So it was a pretty good week. It's unfortunate that I don't like boxing that much. It's so easy to predict. I know it sounds crazy that I'm saying this, but man, I don't even watch boxing that much, but my predictions are flipping incredible when it comes to boxing. Anyway, you came here for MMA, not boxing, so let me not bore you with boxing. Let's get to the MMA things. Let's get to the MMA things. Um, I got 10, 12 as well. Yeah, man. Recently, you've been doing really well. I've been because usually you are always in the comment section with me feeling down. The past 2 weeks have not been great. My subscribers have been kicking my ass, but I'm back on top. It's not on top, but yeah, I'll get to Taira. I don't feel too bad about picking Taira, man. I think whoever put their money on Taira, I think he fought for it. And I remember I told you in the comment section, I told you that if the Brendan Royval that actually faced Alexandre Pantoja showed up, he would have lost that fight. So that basically means that what do you call him? Royval has improved. So I don't feel like it's a knock on Tyra. I think Tyra looked incredibly good. Actually, I'll get to that fight. Let me actually start at the bottom of the card. Um, Out of the people that I said I felt confidently about, I said Clayton Carpenter. I said Cody Harden. I said who else? Temba Gorimbo, and sadly Tatsuro Taira. And I think I did really well. So yeah, let me get to the card. Clayton Carpenter versus. When's the last time you got a main event right? Sven is back, guys. Sven. Okay, what was the last Wow, wow. UFC 307. Yeah, is it 307? I picked Pereira. Like, why are you like this, man? Like, you make it sound like I got 10 correct and only two wrong. I don't even get a break for getting 10. Dude, well, not dude. Anyway, as well, Alex Pereira versus Canelo. Sven likes to troll me. I don't know what I did to him. Anyway, Clayton Carpenter versus Lucas Rocha. My subscribers and I went with Clayton Carpenter. This was one of my most confident picks. This was one of four picks that I was pretty confident about. Um, Omi Chejong, Kala. I don't know what that means, dude. So yeah, Clayton Carpenter looked incredible, man, and it played out as I thought it would. Big props to my subscribers on predicting the manner in which the fight is going to end, right? Because they said this fight would a lot of the fights they predicted really accurately. They said this fight would end in the second round. Was it the second round? I can't actually recall. But I think they were accurate. I think it was the second round. So kudos to them. Clayton on the feed. What did I say? On the feed, it was a little bit close. I was a little bit worried about Carpenter because I felt like Rocha had a bit of power. He was a little bit more technical. He was being a little bit more accurate. So I'm not gonna lie, say I wasn't really worried. But normally I know I did really well if there's no comments popping up on my phone. Like if I get fights wrong, I already know before I watch the card, right? Because I normally watch the card after. So I see pop-ups on my phone. Yeah, I told you, and all these type of things. So the moment the card started and I wasn't getting any people saying, yeah, I told you, I know I was doing really well. But nonetheless, Carpenter looked really good, very well rounded. It's hard to say because I mean, it was a debutee. They both look good, man. They seem talented, but I'd like to see how he performs against tougher competition. But nonetheless, a decent performance. On the feed, I think they were evenly matched. I would give the slight advantage and edge to Lucas Rocha. Um, on the ground, obviously, Clayton Carpenter dominated. So yeah, we got this one right. I almost picked Rocha. Why would you do that to yourself, man? I think this was pretty clear. I mean, it's MMA, and that's what has been happening for the past 2 weeks. That's why I haven't felt really badly because I know how good my predictions are. Even when I have a bad week or a bad night, I know that I will eventually bounce back. Ultimately, I know it's MMA, there's robberies, there's a variety of things that affect the predictions, but I know consistently I have really, really good predictions. And I'm going to actually do a recap of all my predictions and my subscribers' predictions at the end of the year from January so that I know that I've predicted close to maybe 150 fights, and out of 160 fights, and out of those 160 fights, I think I've gotten like 110 to 120 fights correct. So I know my predictions are really good. Just that sometimes when you get the predictions wrong, it doesn't feel good. But I know for a fact, that's why I want to just recap the whole entire year, just to give you an idea of how many fights I've predicted and how many of them I've gotten correct. Um, Weather Pum Pum, what's that, man? So yeah, on to the next one. Dan Aguilera versus Cody Harden. My subscribers and I picked Cody Harden. Cody Harden was one of my most confident picks. Um, my subscribers called this one correctly as well, and I think I agreed with them. Both with the Carpenter fight, I did say if you watched my stream, I did say that I felt like Rocha and Carpenter had more or less the same level of experience. So I felt like no one would really have the experience advantage. So that means a finish is likely. I was worried for Cody Harden largely because I felt like Dana Guetta had the experience advantage. And I did say on my stream that because of the experience of Aguilera, I agree with my subscribers that it's going to end in a decision, and I was right. But props to my subscribers, man. They are flipping incredible, not just with predictions, but with actually predicting the outcome of a fight. They called this one a decision, and it was a decision. Cody Harden, I knew and I felt like it was going to be a really tricky fight, especially with Aguilera's grappling and everything like that. But I also felt confident in Cody's ability to actually find a way to get up. It was really impressive because Dan Aguilera, number one, did not get tired. Number two, he was relentless. He was shooting aggressively, which means Cody Harden is only going to get better in terms of grappling defense, and he can actually be offensive. He's a really, really interesting prospect. Um, Harden was the first leg on my parlay, easy leg. Yeah, I was worried about Harden. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he was one of my most confident picks. But obviously, even if I feel pretty confident about a pick, um, I get really worried, and that's why. Um, and I don't know why my picks like to do this to me. Um, I get 10 fights correct out of 12, and for some reason, one of the fights that I get wrong is one of the picks that I felt pretty confident about. But it is what it is. Um, anyway, Cody Harden looks like a really, really interesting prospect. I hope he continues to improve. He's going to be fun to watch. Um, so yeah, we got this one right, me and my subscribers. On to the next one. Julia Polastri versus Corey McKenna. My subscribers went with Corey McKenna. I went with Julia Polastri. My subscriber said this fight would end in a decision. I was pretty confident in Julia Polastri, but I respect my subscribers' picks, especially because they've been doing significantly well for the past 2 weeks. And in general, they have really good predictions. Sorry about that. So I was worried when they were picking Corey McKenna, because I was like, what am I not seeing that they felt? Because I feel like Polastri was better. I knew she would be able to avoid getting controlled with wrestling. I knew she was the better striker, although McKenna did look a little bit more decent than I expected. But I knew that Polastri was the better fighter, but I wasn't really sure. Obviously, because WMMA, very unpredictable. But I was like, I know that Polastri is probably going to win, but I wasn't really sure. But yeah, I got this one right. Polastri looked good, man. But the sad thing about women's MMA is that she looks like this, and then in the next fight, she could look like she doesn't belong. The UFC. I hope she can stay consistent. Um, I don't want to trash women's MMA. Like I don't. Every channel that I've seen is trashing women's MMA, and I'm a fan of the sport, so I want their division to grow as well. I don't want to be like everyone else who's trashing it, right? So I hope the female fighters find a way to actually be consistent. I think Paul Astri is one of the few entertaining fighters in the women's division that I think would make the fight interesting. And the more we have female fighters like Paul Astri, um, I think a lot of MMA fans will be a little bit more excited to watch them apart from physical features. We know, like a lot of fans, especially women's MMA fans, it's largely because of how they look. Um, anyway, Sven Palastri is hard. Yeah, she is, man. She is. Especially her tattoos. Damn. I tried to stick up for WMMA, but right now it's absolute garbage. Sven, I also try, man. That's why I'm saying I honestly and sincerely hope that female fighters like Polastri are able to remain consistent, and the fame and money do not make them change. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Yeah, I got this one right. This was the first fight my subscribers got wrong. On to the next one. Junior Tafa versus Sean Sharaf. My subscribers and I went with Junior Tafa. I did say this fight would be very risky, and I'm glad I said that. you know, if you don't know, like I do like regular risky and safe predictions on the channel. So I did say this fight would be risky, and it was, right? Because in the first round, I felt like it was evenly matched. It was just a matter of who's going to land the bigger shot, and neither of them did any better. It's sad to see Junior Tafa perform like that, especially if he thinks he's going to, or if he's planning to go to light heavyweight. Because at the very least, outside of anything, he should have the better cardio. So you can't be gassed like a heavyweight and you are claiming that you are going to go to the light heavyweight. What are you doing there? If you are gassing out like Sharaf, like Sharaf, at least Sharaf has an excuse. Like he's really big, so that's the excuse. Like Junior Tough is not that big, so I mean, like, why was he so gassed? It reminded me of the fight between between Tony Ferguson and Nate Diaz. Until this day, there are people who still believe that Nate Diaz could have beaten Hamza Chimaev. The sport and its fans sometimes. Um, so yeah, Sean Sharaf looked decent. I mean, it was short notice, so maybe that's where the fatigue came from. But he wasn't really fighting decent competition, so maybe it's because he's used to running through cans. I don't like saying people are cans, but I mean, but for someone who hasn't been fighting really good competition, I think he performed really well on short notice. So I think that he deserves the props for that. So yeah, there isn't much to say about him except that he tried. Both are trash. Like they were guessed. It was hard to watch in the second round. But my subscribers and I got this one correct. Um, I don't know what Junior Tough is doing at light heavyweight. You can't be guessing like a heavyweight and saying I'm going to light heavyweight. Like, well, what are you doing there? The one thing that he should have as an advantage if you're trying to go to light heavyweight should be cardio. And clearly, I don't think he's going to be working on cardio. He thinks if I cut down a little bit, I'll have the size advantage and I can knock them out and I can be the champion somehow. I think that's the plan. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll see. Um, let me try and reply to um, Alphabet Dude. Sean Sharaf up had the burgers for the camp. Oh, up the burgers for the camp. Shamil Ghaziev met American Shamil Ghaziev. Wow, wow. Fair play to Sharaf. He went from the burger leagues to the UFC, and on short notice. So that's why I'm not being too hard on him. Jay Brown, toilet paper stuck in the crack of my tail. Um, sounds uncomfortable. Anyway, Temba Gorimbo versus Nico Price. My subscribers and I went with Temba Gorimbo. My subscribers said this fight would end in a decision. So far, my subscribers have been super accurate as far as how these fights are going to end, which is pretty impressive. So Temba Gorimbo and Nico Price. I don't want to be too harsh on Temba Gorimbo, man, but I feel like if you're going to become a title contender, you should at least be able to finish someone like Nico Price. I know that sometimes we don't take into account that people can improve, right? Because look at the Dustin Poirier versus Islam Makhachev, right? Because you can't say that Islam Makhachev is trash because he couldn't finish Dustin Poirier early. which is a comparison I'm going to make even to the main event. But let me use Islam Makhachev versus Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier has been fighting a lot of grapplers and he has been improving over the years. Habib Nurmagomedov, Charles Oliveira, so he's been fighting really decent grapplers and he's lost to really decent grapplers. So because of that, he has managed to find a way to actually improve his grappling, which then made it seem like, or rather made it the fight with Islam Makhachev a little bit more competitive. So that's something we don't take into consideration. Probably, maybe, I don't know, Nico Price used his experience to actually find a way to survive. I'm trying to not be harsh on the guy. Hopefully, he can improve. The most important thing is he nearly got Nico Price out of there. He was winning. I wouldn't say dominantly, but yeah, it was decisive, right? I still feel like he should be able to finish someone like Nico Price. He's old, past his prime, so if you can't finish him, I don't know. Let me not be too hard on him, but he needs to work a little bit harder if he plans on becoming a champion. Because look at what's happening. From the top five, it becomes a problem in any division. Actually, the UFC used to be not so, especially middleweight division and light heavyweight. Light heavyweight is still not that great. Um, yeah, it's still not that great. Middleweight division has improved significantly. So the top five is full of a lot of dangerous people. I mean, light heavyweight, as long as you can wrestle, it's like heavyweight. As long as you can wrestle, you'll be fine. So yeah, I think he needs to improve if he plans on doing anything significant in the welterweight division. But nonetheless, he won. So let me not be too harsh on him. On to the next one. The first fight I got wrong. Jonathan Pierce versus Pat Sabatini. My subscribers and I went with Jonathan Pierce. This is the first fight I got wrong, and the prediction was wrong for my subscribers as far as the how the fight ends because they thought this fight would end in a decision, and it was a submission. I honestly, I think maybe I overestimated Jonathan Pierce's grappling. Um, I didn't think he was good offensively. I felt like he would be the offensively good skills would be useful defensively, which is what normally happens. Fighters who are not elite offensively at grappling usually are able to use it defensively. Examples are Alexander Volkanovski. He's not Habib on the ground, but he is able to use the offensive wrestling that he has defensively, and that's why he gave Islam Makhachev one of his hardest fights the first time they fought. I thought I can make multiple examples, but I thought that Jonathan Pierce was good enough to actually um, avoid getting submitted, and he let everything that was happening to him happen. I don't know why, but he allowed it to happen. I don't feel like he was doing anything to prevent it from happening, which is sad. But yeah, it is what it is. I think I estimated his grappling abilities. I didn't think he would win the grappling exchanges, but I felt like he would be defensively better than he was. And the performance of Cody Harden, yes, that's the perfect example. I thought that Jonathan Pierce would perform the way Cody Harden performed. I knew that Pat Sabatini would probably be a problem on the ground, but I felt like he would have a similar performance to Cody Harden. Um, but I was wrong. He allowed himself to get submitted very easily. So yeah. Let me reply. Alphabet dude. Sabatini by sub was one of my best picks this card. Yeah, that was impressive, man. Jonathan Pierce is overrated. He had sloppy grappling against Onama. Maybe, maybe. It's hard to say because sometimes you can say that a fighter is trash and maybe it was a specific camp. Yeah, let's put it like that. Maybe he had a bad camp. I don't know. But maybe he is overrated. Let me not defend him because he he, he disappointed me. Anyway, plus I always tell Jacob's log of the week. Okay, I hear you, man. Um, so yeah, this was the first fight I got wrong on the card. Um, on to the next one, CJ Vergara versus Ramazan Temirov. My subscribers and I went with Ramazan Temirov. Um, yeah, that was impressive, but uh, his performance was Ramazan Temirov's performance was incredible. I'm glad I picked him, but he's going to have a serious problem as he climbs up the ranks. The same problem that Joshua Van has, right? Obviously, Temirov is a little bit more aggressive. He has power, but as he climbs the ranks, he's going to have a serious problem. The same problem that Joshua Van is facing, and it's height. Both Joshua Van and Temirov are very short. So as he goes up the ranks, especially once he starts fighting ranked contenders, I think he's going to have um, feeling professional MMA analyst. Krabs Sven out Sven. Sven, do you have Sven has an arch nemesis? What's happening? Sven, you have an arch nemesis. Look at the comments. Krebs Sven 7. Oh, 7. I almost said you had an arch nemesis. So it's 7, not Sven. Feeling professional MMA analyst. Um, yeah, maybe I wouldn't call myself that, but I need a couple of years. I've been doing this for like 2 years. Yeah, not 2 years, 1 year and a couple of months. So yeah, I don't know if you're referring to me as a professional MMA analyst. I still feel like I have a lot of work to do. But yeah, my analysis 90% of the time is accurate, especially as far as breakdowns. So that's actually really good. Anyway, Tamirov, I think unfortunately, but maybe he can become Alexander Volkanovski of the flyweight division. Who knows? Maybe he's going to find a way to not allow his height to affect his ability to be a dominant fighter and hopefully eventually become a champion because he's decent. Um, I don't know if he was fighting the way he was fighting because of the reach as well as the height issue. But he runs too much. He overthrows. I don't know if that strategy works in the second, third, or in championship rounds. I think that kind of strategy is effective in the first round and maybe the second round. But I don't know his cardio, so maybe I could be wrong. Um, so yeah, kudos to him. I picked Tamirov. My subscribers and I picked Tamirov. Um, let's see how he performs against ranked contenders, especially the taller ones, because I think that's going to be his biggest problem. Let me reply to Krebs Van. Keep gambling. You don't even know how to pronounce. All you know is asking for donations. LOL, 90% accuracy. Ha 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 ha. Keep dreaming. Oh, oh, damn, man. I thought you were a nice person. I was wrong. Um, okay, let me repeat myself. Let me repeat what Sven 7. Krebs 7 out 7. By the way, I'm not afraid of trolls, man. Like if you want to troll me, I think I've been doing this for 2 years, and replying to every single comment has made me immune to trolling. So I don't mind. I entertain you. Keep gambling. You don't even know how to pronounce to pronounce. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'll reply to that. All you know is asking for donations. LOL. 90% accuracy. Ha ha ha. Keep dreaming. Let's first start with your grammar. How do you laugh at my pronunciation when you can't write pronounce? I think stay away from insulting my pronunciation of words before you insult my. I think start learning how to write words before insulting my pronunciation of those words. As far as asking for donations, um, I have 12,000 subscribers, right? Those people are not following me for fun. There's some value that they get from me. Every single channel on YouTube, MMA Guru, MMA Joey, every monetized channel has an option for subscribers to send money in every single way to the people they follow. What's the difference between me having a link and people who are monetized on YouTube? Like, what's the difference? Um, and then what else did you say? 90% accuracy. I think you're not listening to what I'm saying. My breakdowns are extremely accurate, and I can confidently say that. My predictions are still pretty good. It's obviously MMA. And like I said, over the past 4 or 5 months, I've predicted about 160, 170 fights, and I've gotten approximately 120 of them correct. So that's not elite by any means, but I think it's more than most channels. If and in fact, I think there was a channel that was tracking every single channel. I think I've gotten more fights correct than any other channel. Maybe as far as percentage goes, I'm around 60 to 70 something percent. But yeah, I don't think that's horrible at all. Especially because I predict fights from prelims up until the main card. So I don't honestly understand the point of what you're saying. Sven can't read. I'm not trolling you. Real talk. Okay. Waste of time. There's some dude called Sven. He might have gotten mixed up. Yeah, no, it's fine. Crab 7. Yeah, there's a dude who's called Sven. So when I saw your name, um, I thought it was Sven. But learn how to write, dude. Like you can't be clowning me for my pronunciation of words when you can't even write. What the hell is you don't know how to pronounce? What's the ed doing at the end? It's you don't know how to pronounce. If you wanted to insult me properly, you should have said keep gambling. You don't even know how to pronounce, not pronounced. Another thing, I don't gamble, dude. I don't know where you're getting this information. I don't gamble. So yeah, 75%. I worked that out. 120 to 165 is 75%. Yeah, somewhere around that. That's why I said I'm going to try and do a recap of all my predictions throughout the whole entire year in December and actually get like an accurate number, because there was a channel that was tracking my channel, but I think the dude is having some issues right now. Um, so I think he stopped temporarily right now. So he used to do like recaps of the past 3 4 months and everything like that. But yeah, I think I replied to you, dude. If you want to continue to, I don't know, try to troll me, I think learn how to type first. Who are you? Go through my channel, man. um, it's hard to explain who I am. I'm the founder of the channel. Let me say it like that. I predict fights. I break down fights. Yeah, actually, who am I? I'm a law graduate. So yeah, I think so. That's who I am. On to the next one. Daniel Rodriguez versus Alex Morono. My subscribers and I went with Daniel Rodriguez. Um, I was pretty confident on this fight. I mean, Daniel Rodriguez won, but in that first round, I was a little bit worried. Both of them looked horrible in this particular fight. It's sad to see Alex Morono at his age looking this terrible. Uh, yeah, it honestly sucks because he's still in, I wouldn't say prime. I think he's like 34 years old. So I think it's going to be, I don't know, man. It's sad. That's all I can say about it. Rodriguez looked slow and he still lost to Rodriguez. I He didn't look as fast as he did against Gastelum. Something must have changed. When I was doing an upsets prediction or something like that, Muslim bag, who will win, Hamza Chimaev or Robert Whittaker? I honestly don't know. I'm leaning more towards Hamza Chimaev, but I have to do research first. And then I'll do the breakdown properly. I don't like giving predictions without research. Um, so yeah. So back to what I was saying. Rodriguez looked slower than he did against Gastelum, which is sad. Um, but they are both at the end of their career. But it's sad to say this about Alex Morono, considering um, he's still in the age whereby he could actually become a champion, but it doesn't seem like he's interested in becoming a champion based on how he's fighting. Um, I don't know what to say about this fight except that I was right about Daniel Rodriguez. Actually picking him. I shouldn't have been as confident as I was, but he still won, so it is what it is. On to the next one, Grant Dawson versus Rafa Garcia. My subscribers and I went with Rafa Garcia. I mean, Grant Dawson. My subscribers and I went with Grant Dawson. Um, he got a finish, but still, I don't know, man. It didn't look elite. I mean, he he won, but I wouldn't. Okay, I used to feel the same way about Petty Pimplet, but he finished Bobby Green, and Bobby Green is old now, so like it's hard to gauge the level of talent. I know Grant Dawson was in the top 15, and I think he was actually in the top 10. But who was he fighting? Actually, some of the people in the lightweight division, I feel like I overrated them. I overrated Mateus Gamrod. I thought that the loss to what do you call him, Arman Sarukian. I thought the loss to Arman Sarukian was probably a fluke. I guess I was wrong when it comes to that because Arman, what do you call him, Mateus Gamrod? I don't know. I don't know if he'll ever get into the top five. Rafael Fiziev, I'm also starting to doubt whether or not he's going to get into the top five. There are a couple of people, man, and I don't know about Renato Moicano, especially because like he's 35 now. I know he's on like a three-fight win streak or something like that, but anyway, Grant Dawson didn't look great. There are a couple of people he might be able to beat, but I don't know. Maybe his desire to become a champion will get him there. Who knows? On to the next one. Cheating Jokwani versus Jared Gooden. My subscribers and I went with Cheating Jokwani. Um, Cheating Jokwani actually significantly better than I anticipated he would. Um, yeah, he's improved, man. Hopefully it's not too late in his career. I think maybe that's why he's asking for a ranked contender. He's getting up there in age, and if he actually wants to make a title run, he needs to be significantly more active and actually try and get into the rankings as soon as possible because he doesn't have a lot of time left. Um, his takedown defense looked incredibly improved. Um, and I know it's against the Jared Gooden, but he was doing the right things, man. He was doing the right things, and I was really, really impressed with his performance. I'm not gonna lie, because he was horrible. If you took Cheating Jogwani down, chances are he was never getting up. So he looks improved. He looks ripped. Um, oh, I thought it was rain. There's a train passing nearby, and I thought it was rain coming. Anyway, let me reply to the comments. Chidi was the last leg on my parlay. I sweated that one out, but I think Chidi was winning decently well. I don't think it was that close. I think Chidi was doing really, really well. I think I was sweating more about Daniel Rodriguez than Chidi. Okay, Rodriguez is a horrible comparison because Chidi Njogwani was doing really well. Um, I overrated Jared Gooden. He is pretty bad. Yeah, I mean, be allowing himself to be clinched and kneed and elbowed was horrible. I was actually even surprised that that happened. Frank, hello. What time is it now? I don't know. Somewhere around 5 o'clock in South Africa. Yeah, around 5 o'clock. Um, anyway, I think Chidi looked improved. I'm looking forward to his next match. On to the next one. Brett Tavares versus Junior Park. My subscribers went with Brett Tavares. I went with Junior Park. Um, I wasn't very confident in my pick because I knew that Brett Tavares would have the power and the striking advantage, but I felt like Junior Park would have the ability to mix it up enough to actually get the win, right? And I was right. I think everything played out the way I thought it would. Brett Tavares knocked Junior Park down. Junior Park found a way to actually get back into the fight and won the second and third round. Um, Not impressively. Um, there isn't much to say about that performance. It wasn't great, especially because I don't rate Brett Tavares that highly. So the fact that Junior Park was struggling that much against Brett Tavares was pretty sad. So yeah, I got this one right, but there's honestly nothing impressive that I saw in that particular fight, except that I was right. That's it. Anyway, on to the next one. An actually interesting fight. Let me see battery life. Okay. Brandon Royval versus Tatsuro Taira, and this is the second and last fight I got wrong. My subscribers and I went with Tatsuro Taira. Um, I don't regret that decision. In all honesty, I don't regret that decision. Let me reply to one of my best subscribers. I thought Tavares was gonna be the better striker. Boy, was I wrong. The Iron Turtle got him with the pressure. Yeah, I knew that he would that the Iron Turtle would actually mix it up to win the fight. I didn't think he would um, be the better striker, but in round two he looked decent. He looked really decent in that particular round, and then. Like I said, I knew that he would actually eventually mix it up, and he did. But it wasn't an impressive performance, to be honest, for me personally, at least. Um, on to back to Royval and Tatsuro Taira. Um, I honestly believe that Royval is improving significantly. I heard he changed the coaches or something like that, um, which explains his performance. And I will maintain and I will repeat, if the Brandon Royval that faced um, Alexandre Pantoja faced Tatsuro Taira, he would have lost, right? Um, his grappling has significantly improved. I'm talking about Brandon Royval. He's a little bit more aggressive. He throws a little bit more volume. Okay, he's been throwing a lot of volume, but his punches are a little bit more impactful now. Or maybe it's because Tatsuro Taira has horrible striking defense. I was so frustrated looking at that fight. Um, it's disappointing because with head movement only, Tatsuro Taira could have won that fight. I mean, almost every single shot that Brandon Royval was throwing was landing. Almost every single shot. And not because obviously, Royval is a really good striker, but Tatsuro Taira was not moving. Like, he was not doing like, he was not doing anything. Like, he was allowing himself to be punched in the face. This does not mean I'm saying Tatsuro Taira was exposed. I don't feel like he was exposed by any means. Coming into the UFC and performing the way he did for as long as he did, and performing like that against the number one ranked fighter in his division, there's no way you can say that he was exposed. Yeah, Taira has no head movement, dude. Like, it was sad to watch. But Tatsuro Taira is an elite fighter. I still maintain that Tatsuro Taira will be a champion. I think I think he needs to move. I think he needs to work on his striking defense. It's terrible. It's horrible, and it's the only reason he lost. I think if he would have avoided a couple of jabs, a couple of punches, I think he would have done significantly well. I think he would have made a lot of the rounds a little bit closer than they were. Um, yeah, man, that was frustrating to watch. But looking at him grapple was an incredible sight to behold. Like, it was beautiful to watch. I just hope that he can, because he has decent striking. I just hope he can find a way to actually, I don't know, be a little bit better defensively. I thought he was good defensively, but I think maybe a lot of the people he was fighting were afraid of him taking them down, and rightfully so. You know, when he gets you down, I mean, anyone who's not Royval gets submitted that night. Tatsuro Taira looked incredible in that particular fight. He won 2 rounds. A couple of them were close. Actually, he won 2 definitive rounds. Royval won 2 definitive rounds. In the final round, it wasn't close, but at the very least, I think he tried. Um, but I still say that he wasn't exposed. He was fighting the number one ranked fighter, and he won 2 rounds decisively. With head movement, he would have won that fight. Unfortunately, he doesn't have any head movement, and that lost him the fight. I got 2 fights wrong on this card. I think my subscribers got 4 fights wrong. They got 8 fights correct and 4 fights wrong. I got 10 fights correct and 2 fights wrong. Um, I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing the statistics breakdown tomorrow. I enjoyed doing them last week. I think they are pretty helpful. I'm going to be doing them, I think, tomorrow. But it's a lot of work to prepare for them, but I'm going to be doing them tomorrow. Let me read your comments so I can bounce. Taira will be a champ if he makes some small tweaks and adjustments. He's still young, and there's room for improvement. Yeah, I agree with that 100%, man. He looked sensational in that particular fight. Um, I'm a massive fan of Hamza Chimaev. I think Hamza is probably the only person who comes close to floating with a fighter like that on the ground. I don't know anyone. Even Bo Nickel does not. I don't feel that confidently about Bo Nickel floating with anyone like that on the ground. I think maybe I need to see him against someone who's really defensively good on the ground in order for me to be able to see how dominant Bo Nickel can be on the ground, because I didn't see that, especially um, when looking at his performance against Cody Brandage. That wasn't good. Um, Tatsuro Taira looked elite, elite. Like he looked. I would compare that performance on the ground to Hamza Chimaev in the first round. Hamza Chimaev in the first round, on like whenever it comes to grappling, is nearly actually unstoppable. Not nearly unstoppable. He's unstoppable. You know, if he doesn't submit you, he'll probably get a 10-8 round. So, um, like I don't know what to call you. Like one of my best subscribers said on in the comment section, Tatsuro Taira is still young. There's room for improvement. He will eventually become a champion, and I still believe that. It's just frustrating that with head movement alone, he would have won this particular fight. But it is what it is. Um, I'll see you guys tomorrow when I do the statistics breakdown. They are very important. If you haven't seen them, just go watch the statistics breakdowns from last week. There's so much inaccurate information, and I just decided to do a lot of the work for you guys and make it easier. I love and appreciate all of you. See you tomorrow. Until then, deuces. See you in the comment section.